Noreen. Welcome back to the kitchen. Today I have a novel recipe for you. This recipe was transcribed from one of the books that Rick and I are listening to on audible.com. It is from the book Trunk Music by Michael Connelly, which is book number 5 in the Harry Bosch series. And I can't wait to share with you how I have interpreted it. Let's go see how this all comes together. Today we're going to be making a recipe that is inspired by one that I heard in a book that we listened to. Rick and I listen to Audible every single day, and this video is not sponsored, but I will leave a link down below where you can learn more about Audible because it's freaking awesome. When we traveled to Indiana earlier this year to visit Rick's parents, we listened to 2 novels on the entire trip, on the way up and the way back, and it was really a lot of fun. And we've taken to turning it on in the morning and listening while we get our morning chores done and make our coffee and all that good junk. And this is inspired by a recipe that was written about in the 5th book of the Harry Bosch series called Trunk Music. I'm calling this recipe Harry's Chicken Special because in the little scenario he does talk about how he only ever knew it as Chicken Special. And I wrote it down carefully and I've made a couple of adjustments, but basically it's like a stovetop cacciatore. And you can really adapt this for the slow cooker, for the oven, for the pressure cooker. You could make this in any of those applications. And so it's super easy, and it starts off with some chicken. I have 3 chicken breasts here that I have split long ways. And then I also have I have one 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, a 20-ounce can of diced tomatoes. I have 1 bell pepper slice. Now these were bell peppers that were in my freezer and I just filled up a pint jar with them. And then this is 1 fresh sweet onion that I sliced as well. I have a couple of tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil we're going to use to start everything off with, about 4 cloves of minced garlic, and seasoning. I have a teaspoon each of salt, cracked black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, mixed Italian seasoning, marjoram, basil, red pepper flakes. We're going to be also adding a small bag of cut frozen green beans, and we're going to be serving this over some rice. But you could easily serve this over short cut or long cut pasta, or even over mashed or boiled potatoes would be really nice as well. Really, this is your call. You could serve this over quinoa or couscous. You decide what's best for you and your family. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head on over to the stove and we're going to start Harry's Chicken Special. Okay, I got started without you, but you guys know how to do this. I added the oil to the pan, and now I'm sauteing off the onions, the peppers, and the garlic. I'm just doing that until they're a little bit wilty and not brown at all. As I always say, you want it to be sizzling, not simmering, and we just hear the oil simmering in there and all the water has cooked out of the onions and the peppers. And then what I'm going to do now, before we add the sauce and the chicken, I'm going to go ahead and hit this with all of our spices. And what this is going to do is it's going to help these little dry seasonings to open up and bloom and offer up their essential oils to the dish, because they're going to mix with that hot oil and they're going to become aromatic and they're going to become fragrant and they're going to add their flavors right in. So that's what you want to do. You don't have to do it for a ton of time, but the next thing we're going to do is add our tomatoes. So here goes our diced tomatoes and our crushed tomatoes. And if you guys don't have that, you know what? You could do this with a jar or 2 of your favorite pasta sauce and a can of diced tomatoes. This is very forgiving. There are a lot of possibilities here. If you want this to have a little more of a Neapolitan flair, you could add capers and black olives in here. If you like, you could add some mushrooms in here. Hang on a second. I always keep canned mushrooms in the pantry, and we're going to go ahead and, there you go, babe. We're going to go ahead and add that in there too. That'll just add a nice extra bite and chew when we're eating this for dinner. Just give that a stir. And then what we're going to do is, you notice I didn't brown off my chicken. I'm actually going to let this simmer in that sauce from its raw state, because that's going to help it. Just like when you boil chicken, if you're going to shred it, you don't want to saute it first because it's never going to get soft enough to shred. I'm just going to add these are like 3 pieces of chicken that I cut in half lengthwise. bring this up to a simmer now. This is when the magic happens. You're going to bring this up to a simmer, then you're going to lower it. I currently have my burner on medium-high heat. When this comes up to a simmer, you're going to lower it to medium heat, and then you're going to put the lid on it, and you're going to let this go for 30 to 45 minutes until the chicken is tender enough to shred with a fork. When that happens, I'll bring it back and I'll show you what happens next. Alright, our chicken has been cooking for about 45 minutes and it's nice and soft. I even kind of started breaking it up already. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this to a separate bowl, and I'm going to break it up further, and then we're going to return it back to the pan. See, it's already falling apart. Now when you cut your chicken up, just make sure that it's not too thick, because the thicker it is, the longer it's going to take to cook. And remember, you don't want to brown this off first, because if you do, it's going to be more difficult to soften. So now in the recipe in the novel, Harry is making this for his girlfriend Eleanor.
Future wife.
His future wife, I think, because we started watching the series on Amazon before we started listening to the books, and it's really a very different timeline in the novels. But there are over 20 Harry Bosch novels, so there are only 4 seasons of Bosch on Amazon. So I think they kind of took some creative license, and Michael Connelly is the author. He's also he also has part in writing the show. So I really enjoy the Harry Bosch novels so much I can't even tell you. And this recipe I just thought would be so much fun to share. It's nothing really, you know, mind-blowing, but it's just simple, and I think it's going to be delicious. In the recipe he made for Eleanor, he used frozen peas, but none of us in the house except for Rick really like frozen peas, so I'm going to add a bag of frozen cut green beans, and you can just stir those right on in, and they're going to heat up quick. Just leave it simmering, and while you shred your chicken, these are going to just become part of the sauce. It really does. It smells incredible. And look, if you don't like adding vegetables to your sauce like that, leave them out. Just serve them on the side. Nobody is going to care. I'm going to go ahead and shred my chicken while my sauce simmers, and I'll be right back and we'll put everything all together. Alright, I went ahead and I shredded the chicken. Now I didn't really like finely shred it. I just kind of broke it up with my tongs. And you can make this as chunky or not as you like. Because, you know, the more you stir this up, the more it's going to break up anyway. So just get it in there. This is also going to help to make the sauce thicker, because now that you have displaced the surface area of the chicken, there's some science-y talk for you. You're going to actually thicken up this sauce, and it's going to become really beautiful and rich, and that chicken flavor is just going to permeate that sauce. I mean, doesn't it look great? Yeah, it is really beautiful. It's like a stovetop chicken cacciatore, and it really took under an hour to cook. We'll meet you back at the counter, and we'll fix you a plate of Harry's Chicken Special. There you have it. Harry's Chicken Special, all ready for dinner. This smells amazing, and I can't wait to eat it, because it's like a super fresh recipe, and it's just super easy. You throw it on the stove, and you go off and do whatever you need to do. Make a little bit of rice, or some pasta, or some zoodles, or like whatever.
You said, you can do this in the pressure cooker. I mean, not the pressure cooker, but
you could do it in both. You could do it in the pressure cooker. You could do it in the slow cooker. You could do it in the oven. You could do it on top of the stove. Entirely up to you. Whatever you have time for, that's how you can do this. It's going to be great no matter what. I can't wait for you to taste it. You ready to taste it?
I have to.
Oh, it tastes, honestly, I have tasted it, and it tastes like it's been slow simmered like all day. What do you think?
I think delicious.
Tastes like dinner, right? Mm-hmm. This is going to be great to make at the beginning of the week, and you can take this for lunch throughout. You can build yourself little portion boxes, and it'll be awesome. I think that I did Harry proud. I don't know about you, but I hope that you will give this a try, because I think that you're really going to enjoy it. This is a really great comfort food meal. It's even nice on a hot day because it doesn't take forever to cook. It's not going to totally heat up your kitchen. And if you use the pressure cooker to make this, it's going to take like a half an hour tops. Just throw it all in there and turn it on and let it go. So I hope you give this a try. I hope you enjoyed the video today, and if you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my kitchen and you just stumbled on over here, welcome. Always a pleasure to invite new friends. I hope you will consider hitting the subscribe button. If you are a tried and true member of the Noreen's Kitchen family, thank you very much, and be sure to go down and hit the bell notification button, and also set your YouTube homepage to your subscription feed so you don't miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present all the time right here on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen. I hope you give Harry's Chicken Special a try sometime soon, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.